Hey good peeps, it's KIA MUZE coming back at you. I'm doing a quick segment called Muse on Melody, which is a new segment where we're going to do vlogs on songwriting. And so this first one that I want to do is on Trip by Ella Mai. I'm not in my normal studio location because I am visiting family on the East Coast. I'm actually in Atlantic City, so you can have a little view outside. That's the ocean resort behind me. Yeah, so this is where we are, but you know, location is not going to stop us from getting into this music, so let's start talking about Trip. I really like Trip. I mean, I really liked Boot Up by Ella. I think she's a really fantastic R&B artist. I like the fact that she's super grounded in her 90s R&B vibe, sort of the Aaliyah covered up, I'm here to sing vibe. I'm not here to twerk and do all that kind of stuff. I can appreciate that from Miss Ella Mai. So I liked Boot Up, but I really like Trip. I think Trip sort of blows Boot Up out of the water, personally. Let's talk about basics. The song was written by Ella and DJ Mustard, and she's signed to his label 10 Summers, of course. And then they had help on the track from Quentin Gullidge, who he just finished the On the Run tour with Beyonce and Jay-Z. I think he was doing keys for them. He's American, and then they also had help from Varen Wade, who's a British producer, and he was in a group, and he's a songwriter, and then he was tied up with Neo, his Compound label. So they have some really good artists in the production and writing side on this. And I did find a little blurb where Mustard talked about how they created it, and so I'll share that with you. DJ Mustard says, Trip was one of the songs that we did in the studio later on down the line. I drew in the chords in Fruity Loops. I can draw the chords, but I'm not that good. I'm not Beethoven. I played the chords in for her, and I called Quentin from her band to come and play them. So while she's writing, I started doing the drums, and by the time the session was over, we had the full song. Ella knocked that shit out. It was crazy. So the song dropped on August 3rd. Today is November 29th, I think. The song's done super well. Super well. It's platinum in the US already. It peaked number 4 on the US rhythmic charts, and it peaked number 11 on the US Hot 100, which is all the genres mixed together. So I think that's, you know, indicative of like a very hot song. Video, the live action video itself has 40 million views, and you know that didn't come out when the song came out. That dropped later, like after the fact. So a lot of people have been YouTube streaming, listening. There's a lot of heat on this song, and well deserved, I think. So I think that the melody works because the top line is so simple, but it's very catchy and it has a lot of swing to it. So in the verse you have da 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 da. Pre-chorus. Hook is where it really. All that repetition, all that staccato of the same note. It's just really simple but catchy. Like you can't, there's no way. So I think that I'm tripping up it. You can, it's very easy to remember, and it sounds really good. So A+ on the top line for Ella Mai and Mustard. And then let's just talk a little bit about the actual production. I had read you that quote earlier where Mustard talked about the chords that he laid in, and then he had Quentin come back and finesse it. The chords are very warm, very R&B. And they're just very simple, and they just repeat, and it's a really good foundation for the really fantastic top line that they were able to craft for this song. So A+ on production as well. Okay, so let's talk about lyrics, because lyrics are kind of my favorite. I like these lyrics. I think they're very smart. She has a lot of, you can tell she put some work into her metaphors from the very first line, where she talks about putting her feelings on safety because she doesn't want to shoot where your heart be. And then if you see, there's a Genius episode that she did about this song Trip, and you should check it out because she really does break down all of her lyrics and what they mean. But I think that that very first metaphor really kind of sets the tone for the song. And just the whole idea of kind of like, you know, holding your feelings back when you first jump into a relationship because you don't want to like put everything out there, you know, kind of how Janet Jackson didn't really know not to let all my feelings show, to save some for later, so our love could be greater. That's what that kind of reminds me of, about, you know, putting your feelings on safety. So I really liked that. Oh, and that's a whole lot of love and trying to waste it. It's like we running a mile and never make it. And she talks about this in the Genius episode too, where she says that, you know, it's like training for a race. You know, relationship is, the metaphor is like training for a race. So you know, do all this preparation, you eat right, you do all this stuff, you put all this work into it, and like you run the race and you don't finish, you don't make it to the end, you know, and that's really sad. And in a relationship, you know, same thing. It's just like, you know, you put all this time, energy, investment, and it just doesn't work out. I like that. In the second verse, she does a little play on marriage vows. It's just too bitter for words, ain't trying to taste it. It's just too bitter for words, ain't trying to face it. That part, she talks about in the Genius episode again, where, you know, how in the marriage vows, it's like for better or for worse. So because this is a bitter situation, they're saying it's just too bitter for worse, which it's interesting way to put that together. I think it's clever. You know, it didn't, like, I didn't catch that the first 800 times I heard the song. I only caught it, you know, after she explicitly talked about it in her Genius episode. But I think, you know, like, I appreciate people trying to be creative in their writing. So I think, you know, it's kind of dope. Okay, another thing that I like to talk about when I'm breaking down songs is like the whole everything old is new again, because you do find that there's not a whole lot that's original, especially on the radio, that people are recycling old things and not even like doing it well. As it relates to this particular song, this song doesn't really remind me of anything old. You know, it has a really current feeling to me. What I like about it is that the chords, like, it's very anchored in R&B, so the chords are super R&B. Like, the minute you hear the chords, you're in that vibe, you catch the mood. But the top line is so fresh. It's very current to me, so I like it because I feel like it's a good marriage of what's established in tried and true about R&B, plus some kind of new school type top line melody. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna talk about is covers. So this song has been out long enough that there's lots of covers. I think the most famous one, as we all know, is JAQUEES' cover. You know, I like the video where he's like, you know, sitting in the car singing along with himself. You know, we all know DJ Mustard's label asked JAQUEES to take down his cover of the song. He was getting a lot of plays on it, which, you know, was only good for the song and only boosted the song, because what's really, I thought, clever about what JAQUEES did was that he changed up the lyrics significantly. And so he sang it from a male perspective and a very masculine perspective. And then he sang it with a lot of feeling. You know, Ella Mai tends to clip her, to cut off her lines, you know, and he had a lot more legato in the way that he sang the song. He had a lot more vibrato in the way he sang the song, and I thought he had a little more feeling in the way he sang the song. So it was exciting. Like, it's exciting to watch him sing it. But I think that, you know, his cover only added to the cachet of the song, quite frankly. I didn't think it was overshadowing, you know, just because it was a, you know, it reminded me of like, you know, like an answer back to the song. So it's not even really a cover. It was an answer to her from the male point of view. And I love it. So sometimes it's hard to find because, you know, they kept snatching it down. But I think now you can find it on YouTube and check it out if you haven't already seen it. It's pretty dope. This song also has been out long enough that she's done several live performances of the song. The two that I've checked out, she did it once on Jimmy Fallon and she did it once on SNL. I thought the Jimmy Fallon performance was better than the SNL performance. The SNL performance felt a little tight to me, like she might have been a bit nervous, which is understandable because, it's Saturday Night Live, so, you know, the entire world is watching. I like what they did for the live version. They, at the end, like after the bridge, there's some chord change up, like some gospel chord change up on keys, and then the drummer, you know, does some crazy solos, and it just adds a lot more like interest and intrigue to the song. Otherwise it can get a little bit plotting, you know, because it is so dun, 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 and the chords don't change in the song. So yeah, when they had the for the live version, when they do those gospel chord progressions at the end and the drum solos, it's crazy. It really like takes the song to the next level. So I think the musical direction for the live performance of the song has been great. I would love to see her do it a couple more times on some different shows. So we'll see what happens. The last thing I want to talk about is judging songs on this for the culture measurement. You know, all of us, myself included, when we write, when we create our art, you know, we say it's for the culture, but we need to really, you know, decide, like, is it pushing the culture forward? Is it pushing the culture backward? For this particular song, I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. I say it absolutely pushes the culture forward. It takes what's great about R&B and what's great about this new sort of trap sensibility, this rhythmic way of writing top line, marries them together, and it's a smash. And so I want to congratulate Ella and Mustard and Quentin and Varen on a hit. All of y'all go out, download, stream, support, and I will see you guys for the next Muse on Melody. Peace. Here's your parting glance of Atlantic City. It's a really nice day today. You can see the ocean from here. All right, see y'all later. Peace.